Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored and privileged to speak before such a large, distinguished audience. Those of you who know me know that I'm not a techie, which may be relief to some, dismay to others in this audience. When some of my friends heard that I was going to speak at this conference, they said either I'm very brave or very foolish. So I have to leave you to be the judge of that. When confronted with the term cloud computing, I searched quite a bit, but I could not find a succinct definition for cloud computing in plain English. I mean, as you can see, even Wikipedia despairs because there isn't a term that is commonly accepted. I suppose it is an inherent feature of the IT profession and industry that there are so many technical definitions. But the one I found which maybe is most helpful is the NIST, the one by the National Institute of Standards and Technology of the US Department of Commerce. It is what they call the 534 definition. First, there are 5 characteristics: on-demand self-service, broad network access, measured service, resource pooling, rapid elasticity. These, of course, have partly got to do with the advantages of cloud computing. Then, of course, there are the service models, 3 service models: software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Then there are the deployment models. I mean, big enterprises can have their own private cloud. Others can have a really true public cloud, open access. There can be a hybrid cloud where some organizations can, ring-fence their portion of the data. So you have sort of partial private cloud, and there's something called community cloud. The advantages just now, which I just skimmed across, include economies of scale, paying for what you use, more efficient use of resources. Of course, you have avoidance of high capex. Instead, you use OPEX, faster deployment, and so on. But there are concerns. I think some of these Steve alluded to earlier, to do with, because lack of ownership, lack of control, security, privacy, compliance, and so on. Earlier on, some prominent IT personalities, including Oracle's Larry Ellison, for example, thought that cloud computing was just a fad, but it has grown. Gartner, for example, projects that from 2012 to 2013, there will be 18.5% growth, which translates to 111 billion to 131 billion. This is for the public cloud, and up to 210 billion by 2016. That's quite an impressive doubling in 4 years. But if you go back to 2010 as a base, it's tripling in 6 years. So, as Steve said, cloud is here to stay. And it's not only here to stay, but it's growing. So, although I talked about the advantages and disadvantages of challenges, for many people, I think the pros must be increasingly outweighing the cons. I found this statement that you can see on the slide, that cloud computing is the next stage in the Internet's evolution, providing the means to which everything, computing power, infrastructure, applications, business processes to personal collaboration, can be delivered as a service wherever and whenever you need it. Another way of looking at it is that, looking at cloud computing, that is that it is sort of the framework, but to get the full value out of the framework, you must flesh it out. So operational applications, infrastructure, collaboration, business processes on cloud. And of course, as in a sense Steve mentioned, one ingredient, one element we think is critical is, of course, analytics. SAS Analytics is cloud ready. With analytics on cloud, what we hope to do is to enable organizations to do more on analytics, simplify the management of analytics so that you have more time to innovate in the way you use analytics and get benefits, extract maximum benefits out of the analytics. The next slide that I have are some examples of SAS Analytics deployments on the cloud. The first one is GE. They have an outfit that detects service fraud. So they put our fraud analytics on cloud, and they have done very well with it. The other one is an educational institution, St. Cloud State University. It's a very interesting coincidence that we're talking about cloud analytics and the St. Cloud State University in Minnesota. They have the SAS teaching suite, which is put on cloud as well. And this has given them a lot of benefits. The other logos you see are other institutions that have applied SAS Analytics on cloud. Locally, I understand that some banks, or one bank, has got its private cloud, and SAS solutions are on it. And as for the public sector, the government cloud or G-cloud infrastructure is already in place. The generic benefits of cloud computing flow through with analytics on the cloud. I think it will be more economical, scalable, and flexible. You get analytics as a service, right-time analytics, and of course, big data. Cloud analytics is, cloud and cloud analytics is relatively new to us in Singapore. Naturally, when things are new, there's some reluctance to adopt it because it's got to do with fear of the uncertainty and some of the security issues and so on that we touched on earlier. I mean, for example, when POSB started issuing ATM cards, many people were reluctant to use them. In fact, many of us stuck onto our old passbooks. And I think even today, there's probably a segment of the population that goes to the ATMs just to update their passbooks when you really don't need it. Similarly, internet banking in Singapore took some time to take off, but I think many of us who are using ATM cards and are on internet banking have found that it's not that risky, not that bad after all. Of course, from time to time, there are failures, but there are patches as well. So the ranks of ATM and internet banking users are going up. I suppose one approach you can take to adopt cloud and cloud analytics is to make a small start. I mean, do a risk analysis, do a risk assessment, and see which are the elements of your business which may be the least risky, and put it on cloud. I mean, there's no need to commit to using everything. In fact, sometimes it probably makes no sense for you to do everything on cloud. But make a start, you should, to gain experience and to gain confidence. Over time, with experience and technological advances, the negatives should diminish and the positives will dominate. And for example, like we heard this morning about the MTCS system, technology will come and you'll be able to look after some of your concerns. In this case, it was concerns over security. So, in conclusion, I would say, big or small, public sector or private sector, don't miss the boat. Don't miss the boat. But do get your feet wet and try analytics on the cloud. So on that note, thank you all.